graduation Sunday, and I walk the stage and all that stuff, and I'm hanging with my parents, my sister, her boyfriend, and I get a text message from a manager saying, "Hey, it's 2:15. Are you running a little late?" And I'm sitting here. I'm like, on graduation Sunday, a day I told you 2+ months in advance, do not schedule me. I am literally graduating, and you still managed to schedule me for that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Nuzlocke. In the previous episode, we made our way over to the Pokemon Tower to have a rev battle against Drake. Then we also gave the tea to the guards in Saffron, so we can now have access to going into Saffron, which means that recording session between Gym 5 and Gym 6 is going to be super duper short. When we were there, we saw that Cubone got abducted by Team Rocket, so then we made our way back to the game corner and just started the game corner hideout, basically. So that should pretty much be what we do for the entirety of this episode, which is pretty good. I'm gonna have my shiny Vileplume travel with us now, as opposed to Venomoth, just because we haven't seen the shiny Vileplume follow us. It's got the little hat. It's got a big ass hat on its head. But yeah, we just got to make sure we beat up all the people here. Once we do that, we can go to the Pokemon Tower, get our first encounter there, which I would prefer it to be a Cubone as opposed to a Ghastly, because I don't want to try and trade that thing to evolve in. But that's whatever. So, here's what I don't understand. And this is just gonna be based on what's going on now. So, last couple of Free Time Friday streams, not including the one that you saw a couple days ago, I've been talking about how, with all the jobs that I've been working this summer, how I haven't had a day off, or won't have a day off for a long ass time. And so here's the thing, is my last day off was July 17th. And when this video goes out, it's probably the 31st. If I had to, it's either the 31st or it's August 1st. Is basically what I'm saying. So from July 18th to, and this is still not completely confirmed because I only know my schedule for in advance for so long. But my next projected day off is August 5th. It is 19 days without a day off. Because I work at the summer camp. My last day of summer school was 25th. So I'm done with summer school then, but I'm going to be going into camp a couple hours earlier so I get, more hours there, whatever. But it still doesn't change the fact that I'm working 2 jobs a week, which means I'm working well over 40 hours. In fact, I think I did the math for the last couple weeks, and it's been like 50, and that's with the day off, which 50, I mean, 50, it's not completely outrageous, but now, with no days off, because I'm on for both Saturday and Sunday, the weekend that I'm recording this and the weekend that you're actually seeing these videos, it's like 55, almost 60 hours a week, and it's like, I would like to have a day off to, if I want to have plans to do something with my family. I have an opening, but instead it's like, no, I just keep getting asked to do, like, oh, we need you in for this. And actually, the weekend that I'm recording this, I did know about in advance, so I'm actually not upset about that. But what I am upset about is the weekend that you guys are watching this, because I was not told I was working both days on this weekend. And yet, I got scheduled, because my availability has been, like, I've always said one weekend day every weekend, just so that way I keep things, like, keep my sanity, for, lack of a better term. But not only that, it was always Sundays 2 to 6, which was fine, because 4 hours is not much, and especially when I have, 10-hour days during the weekdays, a 4-hour day on a Sunday is completely fine. It makes me not, hate my job. But when you start taking away my Saturdays and start putting me on for, 6 hours as opposed to 4, and then not only on top of that, take away both Saturdays and Sundays and make them 6-hour shifts and not tell me, it's a little bit, like, okay, what are we doing here? Are you complying to what my availability is? Or are you just throwing me on wherever it's best for you? Because I feel like it's more of the second. And again, like I said, the weekend that I am recording this, I knew about in advance. I don't really care about. But next weekend, the weekend you're watching, that's not really excusable. And not only on top of that, the reason why I brought up this topic of conversation is because my manager's just texted me now asking me, oh, can you come in an hour earlier? So it's like, you just want me to do everything and, bend over backwards for this. And it's like, don't get me wrong, the pay will be nice, but also at the same time, 19 days in a row, I don't know about you, but that seems like a little bit much. And to be fair, well, when I'm recording this will be day 6 of that. I'm not doing too terrible with it. It'll definitely be probably a good transition once I'm done with summer school, so it might not actually be too bad. But it is also at the same time, it's like when you're scheduling me like a 1 to 8 shift, like if I wanted to do anything today, it has to be done in the morning, because by the time I get home, it's like 8:30. What am I gonna do at 8:30? I mean, I can play games with my friends, but it's like if I want to go out and do something like social-wise, like in person, it's like I got to do that in the morning. Which, I mean, isn't ridiculous, because, I do summer school and summer camp. Those both are, like, stuff that you do in the morning, but it's just the fact that, like, tomorrow, I think it's 11 to 6. 11 to 6:30, sorry. So on a Sunday, 11 to 6, that's pretty much open to close. And it's right in the middle of the day. So I legitimately can't do anything even if I wanted to. I don't know. I don't want to sound like ungrateful or anything like that, but it's just like I feel like it's getting to the point now where, look, if people are requesting off, I understand that, but you still know that I said one weekend day a month, and you're now pushing it with putting me on for a time where I agreed, and then putting me on for a time that you didn't even tell me about. It's not really acceptable. I don't even know if I got into the... I don't even know if I told this story, but this is the same place, actually, where in advance, because I did student teaching during the entirety of the spring semester in college before I graduated. And what I would do is I would write on a sticky note. I would type out like a super long note and write it on a sticky note as well, saying like, you know, here's my availability. These are the days I absolutely cannot work because of like track and field. So pretty much any weekday I was not able to work because like track and field practice would be at 4 o'clock, and it's like I'd get out at 6, store would be closing at like 7:30. So really, there's no point in me going in for 2 hours, especially when I wouldn't be able to have the chance of getting in there like hardly at all. And then it's like Friday and Saturdays were meet days for track and field, so I would only have Sundays open, and even then, Sundays were long run days, so those practices were longer because long run, and then we also did a team lift after. So those practices, like your typical ones, would be maybe an hour, hour and a half, but these ones were like 2.5, almost 3 hours. So it's like, all right, I can come in for these days, but it's got to be from 2 to 6 because that's legitimately when I'm like getting out. I can eat breakfast or lunch, brunch, whatever, shower, get myself prepared, and then I have a little bit of downtime before I go in. And even then, they tried to push it. Can you come in at 1? No. Can you come in at noon? No. I'm literally at practice still. So I would basically tell them availability, what days I couldn't work whatsoever, and then what else? I basically map out like the entirety of like my track season and say like, look, this is not when I can come in. Yeah, not to mention like student teaching as well. I would get out at like 3:30, so I had to go from student teaching straight to practice. So there's that. So that was one of the things that sucked, is because I couldn't really work a whole lot because with student teaching, and I still think it's stupid. You didn't get paid for it, even though you're expected to do all the full-time stuff that a teacher would do. You didn't get paid for it. It was the dumbest fucking thing. But yeah, I penciled in like all of my availability dates and all this stuff like 2 months in advance. So what's crazy is that I wrote it down on a sticky note, so I put it in the book where the scheduling was at. And I wrote down the entirety of graduation weekend, which was in May, like that last week of May. So I said I can't come in May 26th through the 28th because of graduation. 2 weeks before graduation, I got a text message saying, hey, can you come in on that the 27th? Because we really need people. And it's like, no, It's graduation weekend. I'm graduating college. It's one of the biggest things in life. I need to, you know, have my graduation. But I said no, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And then I get to like that graduation Sunday, so I go through and I walk the stage and all that stuff. So I get to that graduation Sunday, and I walk the stage and all that stuff, and I'm hanging with my parents, my sister, her boyfriend, and I get a text message from a manager saying, "Hey, it's 2:15. Are you running a little late?" And I'm sitting here, I'm like, on graduation Sunday, a day I told you 2+ months in advance, do not schedule me. I'm literally graduating. And you still managed to schedule me for that. Like, how do you manage that? There is a full sticky note. There's a full fucking sticky note that says my availability, and you still scheduled me for that day. And I understand that making a schedule is hard. I understand that. But also at the same time, it's like, you choosing not to listen makes it harder. Because I basically was like, no, I told you about this day months in advance. It's not like I told you about this like a week ago or anything like that. No, I told you months. You knew this. So there's no excuse for that. So it's like, no, I'm not coming in. Sorry. You know, sorry I'm coming across like a hard ass, but like, no, I'm not coming in. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I'm getting asked, "Oh, can you come in an hour early?" It's like, you know, right? Like, because if I do it, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, he can do it, you know, over and over again." So it's a reliability thing. But if I don't do it, then it's like, okay, then we're not gonna ask him to do it. I'm gonna go floor 1 first. I'm gonna fight this guy. Fight this guy first, and then we go down to the basement floor, or 4th floor, and then we fight them, and then we fight Giovanni as well. But yeah, it's just the sheer fact that, like, you're just moving me around to what benefits you, and it's not benefiting me. Somewhat. I mean, I get paid, yes, but that's also bare minimum. And, like, even then, like I said, I'd like to have a weekend where I can do something that I would want to do, if anything. And even if that day is just to relax at home, because I really haven't had many of those days during the summer. Like, it's really been go, go, go since, to be honest, January. Because I did student teaching the entirety of the spring up to June. And then pretty much, like, no joke, the last day of my student teaching, I had the weekend. And then I went straight into summer school and summer camp. So there really was no break for me. My break will come probably the last few weeks of summer, if anything. Even then, there probably won't be much of a break. Who are we leading with? These two? I'd actually want Normie there as well. I might not fight Giovanni in this episode. But yeah, I don't know. Especially because, like, said, oh, coming at 1, that's 3 hours from now. I don't really know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to comply to such a thing. Because, I mean, again, technically, I knew about this one beforehand, so it's not like it's a complete surprise, but still. The fact that that did about the exact same damage kind of surprises me. Sludge. I don't know if I'd rather be paralyzed or poisoned in this scenario. I don't know. Both are pretty bad, but... Level 35. Flare me again. You dick. Guess you're dead. Level 38. And said we'll use brute force, and Pikachu said, "Want to run that by me one more time?" He said, "Never mind, never mind, never mind." That is going to be the end of this episode. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button down below because we greatly appreciate it. Next time we will fight Giovanni, and we'll take on the Pokemon Tower as well. I don't know if we'll get through the entirety of the Pokemon Tower. We probably could, depending on how long it takes us to beat Giovanni, but... yeah, if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.